GP3 finds its way to the Silverstone Grand Prix. AIT lock out the front row yet again. Charles Leclerc leading the AIT charge. Dams now look to be challenging in the rookie year as a constructor, all three of their cars in the top 10. Championship leader Nick de Vries starts from last on the grid due to a 15-place grid penalty he conceded during the sprint race in Austria. Can Dams come out of nowhere and win the race in GP3, or will Nick de Vries manage to get reverse pole? Let's find out. It's the GP3 feature race here in Silverstone.
What is up, guys? We are back with GP3. We are here today at the Silverstone Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix, as Nick de Vries. You can see we're having a little cheeky look at our tyre selection. Thinking about starting off with the harder tyre, as we are starting from the back here due to the penalty we did receive in Austria. Probably deserved, actually, we probably could have avoided it a little bit more, but nonetheless, we are starting from the back of the grid, similar to Kimi Räikkönen in Austria. That didn't go too well for him, so with any luck we can get off to a bit of a better race. Hopefully make it past lap 1. Obviously Kimi Räikkönen didn't. If you haven't seen the Austrian Grand Prix, go check that out. It was a very good race for the team that won 1-2, but nonetheless, let's get to the track and to the action. If we'd have made it on to 4th place, we probably could have made it an ART 1-4 here on the qualifying. But nonetheless, we're going to do what we can from last place. We've got Trenčko to our left, Stovic to our right, and we are now going. As you can see, Trenčko gets off to quite a good start. He actually absolutely demolishes us and Stovic, but we're just going to take it easy and see what gaps appear. As you know, it's GP3. Everything gets a little bit crazy as we lose the back end going into turn 1, so already that's not a good start. We're up the back here with Stovic, and just we're going to try and make as many positions as possible. We're going to have a look around the outside. As you can see, we're actually going to the back of Jake Dennis. We're going to lose a bit of our front wing. We're going to scoot up the inside. We're going to clip another bit of our front wing on Aitken. So it's not a great start. We're not in the wall yet. We can see all the cars just going so slowly. I think that is Boschung who's holding everybody up. But nonetheless, we have got the Arden ahead of us, Arden behind us, and 2 Trident cars. And Coronan cars. So we're going to do, so have a look around the outside here. We almost go into the back of him. We got I believe that is Ferrucci, I'm not sure, going a little bit slowly there, but nonetheless we're going in between these 2 cars. It is Boschung with no front wing, so we've found our way up into 11th place, which isn't too bad. We've made it a little bit further into lap 1 than I think Kimi Räikkönen did. We're actually going to be challenged here by Skotthorst. So he's doing an absolute fantastic job, and there's actually 2 cars there. There is Gonda and Nirel Fukuzuma, sorry, and that actually ended up being a 5-car pile-up, including Tunjo, Fukyo, and I believe Gonda, I want to say. But nonetheless, so 5 cars already out of the Grand Prix. As you can see, we're down to 17 cars, but lap 2, we weren't making any ground on these tyres, so we're going to switch to the option tyres and hopefully get a bit more pace. I think it was in P8. It isn't too bad, it's a reverse grid pole, but obviously these points are more important than the points in the sprint race, because 1, there's more to go around, and 2, it's just a little bit better. We're not going to win this race. We will not win a 3rd consecutive feature race in a row, which is kind of a shame, but we're going to push on in this Grand Prix and get as best as we can. Worst case scenario, we're going to get a reverse grid pole. best case scenario, everyone crashes off and we get first, but that's unlikely to happen. But what we're going to do, we're going to move on now to a bit of action down the field. We have got Santino Ferrucci here chasing down Arthur Janos. So Ferrucci had a bit of an accident earlier, but he's pitted early, he's made a stop, and he's just going to barge his way through the field. I could tell you now that Ferrucci is actually making really, really good ground on quite a few drivers. We've got Akash Nandi here, who's going to go very slow, so we're going to ride the curb and have a look down the inside. I don't know if we're going to have to make it around the inside, so we're just going to have to hold on and squeeze him as he goes a little bit wide. We are obviously on the faster tyre, he is now on the prime tyre, so we're just going to squeeze up his inside. He gives us a good squeeze to the bollard. We could have probably lost our front wing or an end plate at least going into that, but moving on to the final few laps, we've caught up to a little bit of a train headed by Arthur Janos, who we saw getting overtaken by Santino Ferrucci. So we got past Tatiana Calderon, which pushes her down into 9th position. We've got Scothurst, who was the one we was battling with earlier. We've actually closed up quite a bit, being the fact that we are actually on the faster tyre, but you can see we're going purple in the first sector. We can have a little look down the inside. We kind of cut the corner a little bit, so we're going to give him the position back, but we're going to have the outside line and we're just going to hold it round past Scothurst. So we're now chasing down Arthur Janos in 6th position. So we have Tatiana Calderon now on the back of Giuliano LAC. So that's she made that job done. It's a fantastic job. Now coming in to the second to last lap now. We are now still behind Arthur Janos. We're going to do an absolute dive bomb and actually get past him. We put 4 tyres off the track, but I mean, I don't think the FIA is going to notice that, but we'll keep it between us. Nonetheless, we are now on the final lap. We're coming around the second to last corner, but I don't know if you can see, there was actually a battle for 3rd place going on ahead of us, so we're going to have a look at that battle after this. We're going to watch the replays, but we do come home in 6th place. We deserve that, to be fair. We had quite a torrid time on the prime stint, but we'll have a look now at the battle that was on about. So we have Santino Ferrucci here battling his one of his teammates, Kevin Jorg, and Kevin Jorg just gets a fantastic run back on him, but Santino Ferrucci is of course going to make the same move he made earlier, and he's going to claim that 3rd place.
AIT of course dominated the Silverstone Grand Prix, however, Nero Fukujimi retired. Santino Ferrucci takes 3rd place, scoring Dan's first podium in the Formula. Nick de Vries managed to get P6, so he starts on 3rd on the grid, while Arthur Janos will start from reverse grid pole. Time to jump on board with Charles Leclerc here at Silverstone.
Back in the ART garage, and this time we are on board with Charles Leclerc. Have a bit of a change up and see how everything goes for this race. So Charles Leclerc, obviously, we're sorting out our setup, same bloody setup you do every single race. I really need to get a new setup actually. But anyway, screw that, I'm going to the race. Let's go. Arthur Janos, the boy that got absolutely bullied last race. Nirel Fukuzumi, our teammate, who just got bullied by one of the other cars. I can't remember what it was, but nonetheless, we've got 5 lights and we are now underway. We've got our teammate, half teammate, to the left of us. We've got Santino Ferrucci, who absolutely cut through the field on the last lap, so we've got to watch out for this. We're going to have a little bit cautious. We've got a car up on our inside. I think that's a Lacey, so we're just going to have to take our time a little bit and see what we can do. We're going to have a look down the inside here, and then we're going to have an amazing amount of space. We're going to go 3 wide into this corner. We're going to hold it around the outside, and we're actually going to find ourselves into the lead of the race by the first corner. So we've gone from 8th to 1st place in the space of 3 corners, if you want to class that as one as a corner. But nonetheless, 1st place, we are looking good to do the double here. We're now looking on a battle. We now have Santino Ferrucci on his teammate Jake Hughes. So Santino Ferrucci has holding no prisoners when it comes to his teammates. He's just going to barge his way through the inside. So he's doing a fantastic job with that. We now have Tatiana. Is that Jake Aitken? It is Jake Aitken going going into the back of Boschung, so that's not good, not good at all. It's easy to get the Arden Internationals mixed up, but speaking of teammates, we now actually have an ART battle. That's Nick de Vries under pressure from his teammate Alexander Albon. We saw Alexander Albon on the start, but you can see now he's actually making some moves here on the driver who was on board with last time. So Nick is actually going to concede that position. So as Alexander Albon now up into a following position. Here we've got Tatiana Calderon. I knew she was here somewhere. So Tatiana Calderon is now in pursuit of Fuco, and she just drops it, and Fuco goes into her. So a really poor day of the office for Fuco. But now we have Santino Ferrucci again chasing down another car. This time it is Arthur Llanos, who again has been bullied absolutely well and truly. But that's Ferrucci into his position, and that is it. Job done. We made it into first place. Charles Leclerc managed to do the double here in Silverstone. He must be absolutely chuffed. So looking at the driver's stand, you can see now Charles Leclerc is now overtaking Nick de Vries. He's 10 points ahead, which isn't a lot, obviously, in GP3. It's absolutely nothing. Alexander Albon and Fukuzumi bringing up to 4th place. So it is an ART 1-4 at the moment, as the perfect thing they could have wanted. Antonio Fuco doing a solid job for them there. He's not doing too bad. Jake Hughes again getting up the highest point for Dams. Kevin Jorg and Santino Ferrucci, they're slowly getting out. I reckon Dams' aim would be to get second in the constructors, and obviously hopefully ahead in the drivers. So it'd be interesting if it was 4 ARTs, 3 Dams, and then like say 2 Tridents. That'd be absolutely insane. Maturis Ozakayan 7th place, and then Arthur Llanos, like I said, not doing too bad. He had a better race than his teammate Fuco, but he rounds out the top 10. Constructors, on the other hand, ART are just in another league of their own, having 4 cars and having probably the best 4 cars. Obviously, probably helps. Dams now overtaking Trident in the constructors. Cronin just ahead of Arden, who have obviously come up through this race. Genza Motorsport and Campos Racing on the same amount of points. That's pretty good, but that's been it for this video, guys. GP2 will be coming out in another 3 days. The GP2 race around Britain, it's a very good race. It is very good 2 races, so be sure to check them out. Anyway, guys, until next video, I'll see you there. Bye bye.